Good evening, One Twitter fans, live here on Sunday, the 4th of February 24.
Indeed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And again, we've got Liz with us.
Yay! Until Iceland explodes, and then I'm off.
She doesn't mean a local shop.
No,
No one caught
possibly not.
MI5.
Or an FI.
MI5.
No, I'm not protesting about their prices. Otherwise, it's very expensive.
Yeah, so
Anyway, how long have we been on? How long have we been on? We've already gone off topic.
Yeah, gone straight into carpets. How? We don't know. So yeah, it looks like an interesting week of weather coming up. First, we have a quick look at January stats. Then we'll take a look at what's happening this week, and we'll have a look at the end. Have a look at the ECMWF weekly synoptic weather charts. Anything else that everyone wants to have a look at?
Yep. No worries.
And hello to
whoever that is.
Whoever that is. I don't know, because it's not come up on the screen there. So good evening to
1 billion. Hello. Yes.
Good time for you,
did you have the charts for the month of January? You have indeed.
Yes, I do indeed. So let's have a look at the stats for January. So the mean temperature across the UK for the 91 to 20 anomalies is more or less virtually bang on average, really. Parts of the southwest, they're just slightly below average, and most of Scotland there's slightly below average, and parts of southwest Northern Ireland slightly below average. So it's been an average month, really. For the 61 to 90 normally, we're talking, it's actually just a little bit warmer actually for the 61 to 90 anomaly. So that's like the old money, shall we say. What the new norm, shall we say now, we're virtually bang on. Well, yeah, bang on where it should be. Obviously, we had that mild start at the start of the year. Then we had that cold snap through much of the middle of January. Then it turned mild, I think, towards the last week of January as well. So that's kind of balanced itself out into an average month. Just make sure I'm not got connection problems like I normally do. All running smoothly so far.
Good. All good.
Makes a bloody change. The rainfall for January is a bit of a mixed bag, really. More or less average for most areas. There's a few dry patches, and I literally mean dry patches. I'll say perhaps Northern England there, slightly wetter than average, and Northern Ireland slightly drier than average, as well as southwest Scotland as well. And parts of the far southwest of England as well, slightly below average. It's nothing too far from the average. Perhaps northwest England there, just slightly above the average rainfall for January. So it seems to coming out across as an average month, really, isn't it, so far? So let's have a look at the sunshine. We would do, but it's gone dark. But for January anyway, it's actually above average. Much of the UK, perhaps away from Northern England there, it's average to slightly below average. But much of the UK there's actually above average there. Parts of East Anglia, perhaps down towards Hampshire, through the New Forest area, at about 150% of the sunshine amounts for January. Parts of southwest Scotland there have had more than 170% of the sunshine average.
Yeah, it's interesting. Western Scotland have had a dry, sunny January, which is very unusual.
Yeah, normally this time of year, it's got like one of the wettest and dullest areas. I think most of this is probably down to the middle of the month where it was actually quite cold, wasn't it? And
yeah, it's it just shows how much it's changed from being a nice, crisp, northerly influence to just recently we've got the Atlantic influence back in, which is obviously wetter and overcast. So yes.
Speaking of the cold, let's have a look at days of air frost for January. Let's put the actual down for this one. So virtually, no surprise there, Highlands of Scotland have had 25 days or more of air frosts, and virtually the whole UK have actually seen some frost in January.
There's a surprise. Never expect that, would you?
Well, then again, we've had some mild Januaries in the past where it's literally literally been mild throughout. We're not done too badly. So everyone's seen a frost, and some places have seen at least 5 days of frost through January, but that's probably due to that middle of the month where we did have that Arctic air in place. For the 91 to 20 anomaly, it's was more or less bang on average for most areas of the UK. Eastern areas slightly below average, and southwest England especially actually above average of airtime frost. Let's take a look at the ground frost. I'll probably say it's going to be quite similar, I would suggest. Yeah, again, no surprise there for much of Scotland there, above 25 days of ground frost. And much of the UK there at least had 10 days of ground frost. Again, it's mostly down through that middle part of the month where we had that Arctic air in place. For the 91 to 20 anomaly, it's a bit of a mixed bag there. Southwest England yet again showing that they've had more frost than average. And parts of Northern England there, it's just slightly below average there for the ground frost.
Ground frost, air frost.
And finally, obviously, we're not going to get too many this time of year, but we still do get lightning strikes all year round. And that's not actually available to show you. Oh, well. Oh, no, sorry. My mistake. It's the actual. Doesn't show the anomaly there.
Didn't we get a patch of thunder snow at one point up in Scotland? That one of those school lines came across into Scotland.
So maybe one of these across here. Seems like you're lining up there. And I think I do remember seeing towards the end of the month, end of January, there was actually that thunderstorm that went across, I think, towards
Bridlington, that is.
Yeah. I do remember seeing that actually on the charts.
Yeah, gone across the North York Moors towards Bridlington.
So, yeah, it's mostly been over northern Scotland. One thing we're looking forward to is the summertime where we're going to see charts like that. That was from June last year.
Here's hoping.
Me and that picture just Oh.
We're just under the 4th now. 29. We're just about 4 weeks away to start of storm season 24. I've just come off this now, and actually we've gone through everything that's on there for the January stats. So it's been average.
Yeah, pretty
nothing too significant really through.
Yeah.
Didn't get any beasts from the east.
No. We might. I'm just keeping it in a pot for now, but there's hints, isn't there, in the hints?
Yes.
Would you like? Have you got any charts to show for what's coming up this week?
I think Liz has.
No, I can't. I'm on my phone, so I can't pull charts up. I'm afraid. My laptop died, and I haven't got everything back on my laptop yet, so I'm having to look at my charts on my laptop and my iPad, and then I'm on StreamYard on my phone because it doesn't work on my ancient iPad.
Right. Bear with me. Your ancient iPad.
When you said ancient iPad, is it just a bit of blackboard and chalk, is it?
Yes, I'm going back to the old-fashioned way of mapping charts and pressure lines and no, it's
you've actually got the fax charts, haven't you, lined up, written on the chalkboard?
Yes.
Back to the Met Office days of about 100 years ago.
Yeah. Oh my God! Can you imagine trying to do this show with that?
With the sticky symbols and whatnot.
Yes.
Scorchio.
I might have progressed onto the magnetic symbols on a magnetic board at this point, but.
So yes, yeah, that's Wednesday. We'll come back to this is the 8th.
What's happening with the weather this week?
Well. Unless Liz wants to narrate as well, and yourself. Michael's just busy munching, so
you go for it, and I'll chip in.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, we've got this cold air that's pooling up to the north, which, as you can see, is starting to move a little bit more southwards during Tuesday. This is in association with the squall line. I'm in one of their moods tonight. Ignore me. Anyway, yeah. So if I can bring this round, all the way around. So there's going to be a squall line just where this really steep gradient is between the two air masses. So you've got the wind coming up from the southwest, and you've got wind also coming in from the northwest as well. So they'll be joining forces as they come through, and the cold air does start to win out as we go through the week.
That's if you look at that in conjunction with the jet stream. The jet stream does something really interesting as we go forwards.
That's the mid-level jet. So all I've got on this one. Yeah. So actually, I'll look at the European one. That might. No, that doesn't have it. Up the North Atlantic anyway.
Do you want to bring up the jet stream now?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, Michael.
Yeah, I'll flick across to. I'll flick back to you in a second. I'll flick back.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Gives me an excuse to have a drink of tea. That's better.
It shows it really nicely on the net weather jet stream.
Yeah, Michael's going on now. There we go.
Yeah,
it is, mate. Yeah. So that's today.
Do you want me to bring it forward then, Liz?
Yeah, if you just scroll forwards to bring it to Tuesday lunchtime.
Oh, I'm going on back to Tuesday lunchtime. There we go. Tuesday lunchtime.
You can see there's a section of the jet stream that gets detached, and a really strong jet to our west, which is dipping really considerably southwards. That's what's going to bring in the interesting the low pressures that are going to affect us over the coming week.
Yeah, I was trying to look at that. That's pretty much the same as what I've got with the.
So there's quite a strong jet stream, isn't there, in the mid-Atlantic there, pushing south?
Yeah, and it dips a long way south. If you bring it forwards, just gradually bring it forwards, you can see the bit that's become detached kind of tries to join up again to our east. So we've got a southerly coming up straight from Portugal, from the Azores, linking in with the nice strong jet stream across the Atlantic, dropping really quickly across to the southeast, and then it loops straight back up again. But in the intermediary time, there's a lot of cold air. You can see there's 3 low pressures. If you just go back a couple to midnight Friday, you'll see 3 low pressures.
Yeah, you see the one just on the left. That's it.
There's one over Greenland, or kind of Canada, Greenland, one just southwest of Iceland, and one to the west of Norway. And that's, if you look at if you then switch back over to the 850 temperature, you'll see that associates in with the polar vortex, which is going to be the overriding influence for our weather for the coming week.
Mm-hmm.
So although it's an Atlantic dominant pattern predominantly, we've got a lot of mixing coming up straight up from the Azores, and with the cold air coming down from the polar region.
Yeah.
So it's a typical battlefield for the UK, isn't it, with the air streams?
Yeah, you've got moist southwesterly and then that cold northeasterly coming in as well on the back edge of it over the top. There we go. That's the 500 HPA. That shows it quite well with the warm air across the south, but only glances. And then that cold air starts to tuck in behind as we go through the week.
It's a difficult week to forecast because of this, because again, the actual assemblage, there's quite a big spread on the ensembles, meaning that the actual probability of a guaranteed forecast is very, very, very slim, because it's going to be pretty much 24, 48 hours at the most out before we really know what's going to go on. And we were saying off air before we started the show, the dew points are right on the boundary of snow, freezing rain, or rain. And that boundary, that mix point where you do get the snow precipitation, that's very mobile in all the forecasts. But the jet stream's getting right mixed up. It's all over the place.
Yeah. I've just had a look at the MOGREPS charts, the Met Office ones. Let's go back to that. If Michael shares it back, I can go to...
back on.
Brilliant. So this is the MOGREPS chart, which is the Met Office's their ensemble kind of thing. Like Liz was just going on about the GFS. So this also shows what they're quite certain up until, I mean, we're on the 4th, so that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, possibly Friday. And then after Friday, there's such a spread, as you can see there, between anything from 5 degrees to going down there to probably -8, and that's in London. If I move a bit further north,
it's actually quite a spread Wednesday into Thursday as well.
I'll just bring this back up. This is Birmingham. So as you can see there, even up to the 8th, it's quite the spread even there from the Tuesday, Wednesday area. Still a lot of spread, even though the control is, showing a bit of a dip there on Wednesday into Thursday. And then, like I said, there's a lot of spread there. Did you want to say something, Liz? Sorry.
It was just all down to the mixing in the atmosphere, the actual air currents that are coming up from the. If we get enough ground warming, that's going to push the cold further south. Protect the Midlands from the cold air coming that far south. If we get overcast, which I think is looking probable, we won't get the ground warming. So there's potential for the cold air to come down further south. But if that jet stream does push up from the Azores a little bit further, that's going to bring the warm through, and that'll be high level, and that's going to trap the cooler air on the ground surface. So we won't get the snow. It'll just be overcast and blur. Really boring weather.
Well, that was Leeds I was just looking at. This is Nottingham, so that's a little bit more further north than Birmingham, but less than Leeds, and that shows how much uncertainty there is after Thursday, really. Quite nailed on up to Wednesday, and then there's that control showing that warmer air moving up and then cooling off again.
Yeah, Howard's just said in the chat, seeing the cool pool at 850 HPA temp in central England. Yeah, it's in anywhere in between Nottingham and Birmingham on that Tuesday into Wednesday point, which is why it's very difficult to tell where it's going to snow, because there is snow forecast. It may stay up to the peaks, the higher grounds over the Peak District, might just tip down into Nottingham. But
it's Sheffield, so
Birmingham
motorway, and it's pretty nailed on there with the control, even though there's that spread.
It's the central England is the point at which we don't quite know how far up central England it's going to go. Whether the cold air will come down to as far as Birmingham, or whether it will only get down as far as Nottingham. It doesn't look like Wales is going to get a considerable amount of snow either. but
I've just moved
it's
over
going to be across from like the Mersey, across Manchester onto the Peak District. So Staffordshire Moorlands, Tuesday into Wednesday probably won't get any snow, but looking further into Friday where the next front comes across, that one is really messy and has the potential to bomb. Ends up sat over Dublin pretty much, and the back edge of that might bring some snow further south into the southern Midlands. But it's a really difficult one. That's where the ensemble diverges.
Yeah, this is for Snowdonia. This is. I was just having a flick through the charts while you were talking there. When you mentioned Wales, it was showing that cold air tucking in behind on the GFS, and that shows it here as well. There Thursday, it warms and then cools off again, but it doesn't. Like I say, to the east, it's more east and north. It's more cooler, but as you say, like towards Wales, the Midlands, across towards possibly East Anglia. I'm just going to have a look at that now because there's Norwich on here. So this one will be Norwich. As you can see there, a heck of a lot of spread. It's quite high up as well there, 5 degrees, and it's lasting longer before it cools off. This is over 10 days.
It's going to be an interesting week.
It is indeed. It is indeed. I'd say anywhere from anywhere north of the M62, really. I always use that as a boundary. So either side of that, that could be the boundary, but it could be colder further north. Let's have a look at Scotland. Let's have a look at the 1.5s anyway. That'll give us an idea of how warmish it'll be at the surface. Showing 10 degrees here on the Norwich one before it cools off back down to about 5 degrees, but some of the numbers are saying down towards -2, -3.
That's the section of the jet stream that's rushing up from as it joins to the main flow. That section of jet stream, as it reattaches to the main flow, that's where it comes straight up from the southeast, which is why the Norwich is showing quite warm.
This is Leeds, so a few 100 mile north, maybe about 100 mile north, and that shows a degree of certainty that it will be around about 2-3 degrees after Wednesday. Like Liz just says, it seems to be more further north.
Kind of a line, M62 kind of might be little bits down onto the Peak District, a bit further lower, like sort of Stoke.
Yeah, I'd say around about that. This is Newcastle, so further north, but towards the coast. So it'll have a northeasterly influence off the sea. So it won't be as cold, but it'll still be cold, colder than it's been of recent. I mean, it's 13 degrees here today up in the northeast. So that steadies on for a couple of days, and that squall comes through, and then that cold air sits in place.
Well, that's kind of average, isn't it? It's kind of between 0 and 10 is anywhere in that region, sort of 5-6 degrees is about average for this time of year.
I'm just going to go to the west coast. So this is Carlisle, over on the western side of the Pennines. See again there, Tuesday, cold front moves through and stays round about 2 to 3 degrees with a little bit of a drop off there towards day 10. Going down to -5. That's probably on the night time, though, I would say. So daytimes are looking round about between 2 and 5 degrees, I would say.
It also then depends on whether there's lying snow, which there's potential for sort of Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you've got lying snow, it's going to stay colder, which is why there is a spread on the ensembles there, because if the snow comes through, you've then got potential for lying snow for 2 or 3 days. That's going to reduce the average air temperature and the ground temperature, obviously.
Yeah, this is the postage stamps from MogReps, just showing the various members what they're saying. This is at 1800 hours tomorrow. So if I go forward another 24, so this is Tuesday. It's not showing much. Let's go through to Thursday. So this is when we think the snow will start to occur. And there's quite a lot of agreement there that there'll be snow across more northern areas, but we think there's possibility it could even get further south.
I've just took a look at
depends on where the. Sorry.
I just took a look at the GeoFest 12 run from 12 o'clock today, and I'm just going to flick that. I'm just quickly flick that over to me a second before I put it back to you. That has got the snow depth up to Wednesday morning, and it's showing quite a lot there at the moment, showing for much of the Peak District, not the Peak District, the Pennines.
Yeah,
and maybe a bit for Norfolk as well.
Yeah, it might be a easterly coming in there, possibly. Oh, it just could be that low bumping up into the cold air.
Yeah,
it's the developing low between Norway, the one over by Norway and the one over by Iceland, drawing the air northerly. So obviously Norfolk, being on the north-facing coast, is going to get the cold straight down from the Arctic. So that's what's going to potentially give the snow as the front comes through to Norfolk. The kind of the Midlands area up through to Manchester, up through the peaks. That's more of a that's kind of nailed on with the kind of the main air mass temperature cooling, rather than the prevailing wind cooling, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The Met Office seemed to be
noticing to Thursday as well. If you look at Ireland as well, there seems to be getting a bit of a dumping of snow there for much of Ireland.
Yeah, if you go into Thursday, Friday, into Saturday, there's another. That's where the low that kind of becomes the Atlantic low system kind of comes across into the cold air. Then that's when you potentially get the weather bomb, the cyclogenesis, as it whips up with the jet stream influence and the Arctic northerlies. That's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out, because, like I say, that low ends up centred over Dublin. So on the east side of the low, you've got pretty much southeasterlies coming up from the jet stream, which is warmer. But on the west side, you've got the Arctic northwesterlies. And as that low kind of wobbles, the jet stream wobbles with it, the cold air wobbles with it, the fronts wobble with it. And where those wobbles happen is where the boundary between the cold and the warm is going to be. So that is going to be right slap bang across between Birmingham and Nottingham, really, that line across there. So that's going to be the interesting phase as to what happens with that, with the dew points. And obviously, if the dew points are high, the dew point is how much water the atmosphere can hold, and obviously the warmer atmosphere could hold more moisture. So we then don't get precipitation. But as the dew point drops, there's a crossover point about 0 where any precipitation that falls will be snow rather than rain, especially if it's entering cold air. So that's why it's going to be a little bit difficult to forecast until the position of that low is nailed on and the trajectory that low is going to take, because it might disappear off northwards as the jet stream gathers strength again coming up from the southeast. Or if we have a nice blocking low, which it looks like we might do, the one over Greenland and the one over Norway, that low may get stuck over us, might sink a little bit further southwards, which will then pull the Arctic influence down over the Midlands down towards Birmingham and Wales and Staffordshire Moorlands.
I was going to say, it's showing a warm dew point there on Friday.
Yeah.
Even though the temperatures are low up higher, so like up over the peaks, the Pennines and off Pennines up into the southern uplands and Scotland. The dew points are obviously lower there because it's lying snow and it's further up in the atmosphere. But to ground level, looks like it, like anywhere below, I would say 1,000 feet would possibly get lying snow. Or anywhere above that, below that, I'm not seeing it really.
Yeah, it's kind of 2-3 degrees is like the crossover point between snow and rain. The dew point 2-3 degrees. So it's just going to be where that low pressure wobbles to. Because it is going to wobble. It's not going to be a nice smooth, like we've seen with the Atlantic storms where they rush across us from west to east. This is going to sit there a little bit and kind of work out where it's going, depending on how the other two low pressures either side of us to the northwest and to the northeast. If they disappear and dissipate, ours is going to disappear across us because the jet stream will take the influence. If the ones over Greenland and one by Norway intensify, ours is going to sink southwards, which will, like I say, pull the Atlantic influence, the Arctic influence down over us.
Yeah, I was just going to,
which will reduce the dew point.
This low here brings in the initial northerly, I believe, and then we've got this low here, which is going to affect us on Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, that's the one that ends up stuck. Yeah.
So you can see it there pulling in cold air into it, but also warm air on the leading edge. So it'll be a proper triple point low, this would. You'd have the cold front here, an occlusion, well, probably warm front here and probably an occlusion somewhere. Probably there and there anyway.
If you wind that forwards a little bit, if you take that forwards a little bit to Friday, you'll see that low pressure from the Atlantic ends up sat over Dublin.
Yeah, it's getting sat in the north, in the Irish Sea there on Friday. And you can see that cold air starting to come in behind it. But on the opposite side, you've got warm air pulling in as well. So on this boundary...
That's from the jet stream wobble.
Yeah. As Liz was just saying, it goes down and then comes back up. You can see it nicely there. Where it goes in, you've got another one lined up coming in there. That seems to get stuck even Friday.
If you wind it forwards, there's the Greenland low that's starting to develop into Friday, into Saturday.
Around here.
Yeah.
You got this one off towards Norway as well. Just come back down. So that's still stuck there on Saturday. There's another low getting sucked up into that low. I'm just going to knock it back a little bit. So you got a little developing low here, little sister low, probably. Just little one just there. That gets joined up into that low, and it's still there on Sunday. It's just stuck there. Even probably into Monday.
But that's the Saturday, the Sunday, and the Monday are the ones that we're really not sure about. I mean, if you take that forwards, it's looking like the Greenland low is becoming dominant and the Norway low disappears.
Yeah, but then we've got this little feature down here that's possibly going to throw a spanner in the works.
Yes.
Let's have a look at this one, see where this goes, whether it stays blocked. Because I believe this Scandi high up here starts to build in now from here on in. This is what I was getting excited about.
We start getting a blocking system with the Scandi high.
That low that was down here has only moved up to here. There's another one waiting there. So you need a really big low to shift cold air out of the way, because cold air is stubborn. Once it sets in, it's very hard to get rid of.
It's also dense as well.
Yes, exactly. A bit like my brain sometimes.
I was going to say, like the three of us.
Can't disagree.
But I concur. So that high gets stuck actually over the top of it. So that high, no, low to the to the west comes really, really dominant, but the high pressure's just not letting them through. But we're up to well into, territory that it's not even reliable at this point. But
yeah, I mean, up until Friday, it's fairly certain, but going forward from Friday, pretty much anything can happen. And then going through next week is, like you say, is that high that develops over Scandinavia going to block? I mean, if that high pressure doesn't actually develop as the charts suggest it does at the moment, we're going to end up with another Atlantic, another big named storm potentially.
Yeah, it's showing the Siberian high up here quite dominant, but whether that'll extend out into Scandi,
that's kind of polar vortex territory almost.
It is, yeah. So this is Sunday next week, so 7 days away. That Siberian high starts to, as Gav would say, retrogress towards Scandi. Yes. So that starts to move across. So that low does get stuck. Whether it'll give us a lot of snow or it'll just be just a showery low is open to debate. We'll have a look now at the precip type.
Jet stream's a complete mess.
Yeah, there's a lot happening in America that's going to affect the jet stream coming over here because there's storms and warm air getting pulled in and all kinds of stuff. Go on.
There's a weird loop of the jet stream that gets detached and then goes up all the way across into Canada, across Greenland, down to the north of Iceland. There's almost an oxbow lake. GCSE geography. Forming to the north of the UK. So it depends on which bit of the jet stream. Depends which bit of the jet stream becomes the dominant part, or whether it just fragments, which is what it's showing at the moment on the GFS charts. It's just a complete mess of jet stream bits all over the place. And that Siberian high does look like it falls over into Scandinavia coming Monday the 19th. By which point the jet stream's directly across us from west to east again. So who knows?
I'm just trying to find the jet stream for America.
That's the Staffordshire Moorlands snow on Sunday on that chart that's on the screen.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to find the jet stream for America. So this is, I'll go back to Wednesday, Tuesday. So, yeah, as I was on about the squall that goes through tomorrow through Scotland, and then it rejoins, gets some snow over the North Pennines into the Lake District. I'd say over the very, very tops that will be. The cold air's digging in behind it. Very good. That then extends, but the UKV is saying something completely different. It's having that squall very defined. I'll just go over to that one actually. Share this. So if I go back to that squall goes through on Monday.
Yeah, that's quite a narrow trough squall that on that chart.
That'll be giving some interesting winds.
Yeah,
so we've got
quite a tight boundary.
And then we've got the winds coming in from the north as well and from the south. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some interesting weather on that.
Yeah, I was going to say there might be a QLCS kind of situation on that.
What were you saying, Michael?
I'm just saying, if you look towards the west of Ireland, there's a nice streak, that red streak across there.
Yeah. This is what I'm going to be watching on Tuesday. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how it develops during the day. You can see there as it starts to approach you guys in the Midlands, very, very, very narrow, tight gradient on it, which you'll hear that coming. You'll hear that.
And with that tight boundary, you'll get some interesting shear on that as well. Let's have a look at the bulk shear.
Yeah, I'm going to. Well, that gives you a bit of an interest. Let me go over to WX. I want to go over to WX charts and have a look. This is charts that Liz uses, so it's more. So you can direct me then. Let's have a look.
Just trying to remember which. Is the arpege that's got the bulk shear on it?
No, we've got it here on the GFS.
You've got it on the GFS?
Yeah. Do you want me to zoom into the UK on this one?
Yes, please. I'm just going to try and bring it up on my screen because it's a bit small on my phone to.
Sorry, no data available.
It takes a while to load up. It'll get there.
Oh, excuse me.
There's a question mark next to it.
Put some more water with it. It might.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It is one of those that takes a lot of time to. You carry on. I'll get it up on my iPad and I'll see if I can. If there is anything there.
Bulk shear. When you're ready. Map view. Anyway, this was showing it.
Yeah, it will get there eventually.
Yeah, I know it's one of them. It is trying.
Just taking a look at the facts charts. Nothing too interesting in the facts charts for midweek, really.
No.
Is that confidence sinking down? Well, as we're heading to Thursday, it's looking quite interesting, actually.
Right, I think.
Well, that's loading up. That's the facts chart from the Met Office for Thursday, by the way.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mess, isn't it? It has on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks. There's an included low.
Oh yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, there's about 3 pressure gradients on that. 3 isobars on that across the UK on that. That's where the jet stream gets itself in a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what's causing the problems with forecasting.
Oh, are we getting a bit of a sound delay here?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I was about to put you. I was about to come across to you then, Paul. Were you?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still.
You got your thing back there. Have you got your screen share there? Yeah.
I will do in a minute. I've had to come off WX charts because it was lagging.
Oh no, it's no.
Yeah, mine's.
That's while I was loading. I thought I'd just quickly show the facts charts.
Yeah, it's okay. Actually, let me go Tropical Tidbits and see what they can show. I don't know if that's sharing now. I want to go
I'll
to
put you back on the screen, and you're back on the screen.
Cheers, buddy. So let's go to try and find in Europe. Let's go for Europe.
Sounds like someone being sick.
For it to load in. So if I can help, let's have a look at the little upper dynamics. Thermodynamics doesn't really say much. No, not really say too much. That's now.
There is a bit of vorticity across that front line.
See that moving through there. Yeah, just as it's coming through at you guys. So if I zoom in, if I can zoom in, let me zoom in. No, just my luck. Yeah, so that's Wednesday at midnight. Moving through, and then it kind of moves off to the north. Sorry, to the southeast. So there is some. Could be some.
So which one of you after the bulk wind shear?
Yes, it won't load on mine. Yeah, the bulk shear, it won't load on the UX charts. But
the just flick over.
The vorticity is about as good.
I've got the ECMWF.
Yeah. That'll do.
Do you want to put them on the screen, or do you want?
Yeah, go for it, Michael. Go for it. If Liz wants it, put it on there, mate.
So that's for Europe. Do you want it zoomed in, or is that okay?
No, that's fine.
So how far do you want to bring it forward to?
Tuesday into Wednesday.
So midnight into Wednesday.
Yeah.
Let's wait for that to load up. There we go.
Yeah, so there is quite a lot of shear on that boundary, as suspected. Might be definitely one to watch. That might be very interesting. That might get tornadic potentially.
Do you want to change to HPA at all?
No, the one that Paul was showing and that one shows that frontal system's got quite a lot of spinny wind, shall we say, which it's going to, because it's a very, very, very defined height boundary. So where the winds are coming up from the south, meeting the winds that are coming directly down from the north, you can see on the little tags with tails.
Yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, there is actually, you can see some waves on that as well as it's pushing.
Yeah.
You know, see if I can just zoom it in. There we go. Don't know if that's worked. Yes, it has. So that gives us an idea where it'll be at. Just zoom out. This is 1800 on Tuesday, so 6 o'clock Tuesday evening. Let's move forward. That's at midnight, so you'll hear that for definite. Winds blowing in westerly, and then you've got northerly with that low, depending on the winds from the north. But so if I go to 700, so there's a 700. There we go. And it loads in. So there we go. Wednesday. So this is at 700 HPA, 700 millibar height. Also showing it quite well there as well. So plenty going up into the atmosphere as well. It's going up quite high. What do you think, Liz?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Cape and LI,
Looking along that line.
which there isn't a lot at this time of year, but there is a very, very, very tight line boundary. It's almost on the point of dry line. Talking tornado chasing. Be interesting to see the the squiggly lines and the what are they called? Where were we looking at them last week? Where you want the spread at the bottom and then converging? No, the vertical sections through the. What are they called?
Oh, the I know I've got the name on the tip of my tongue as well. Come on, we're meteorologists. It's
Hodographs.
the skew T.
Yeah, the hodographs, the skew T hodographs. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see those.
Right, Michael. Do you want to get onto that one, Michael?
I can look for it because let me see if there's anything on the ECMWF because I'm actually on the official ECMWF charts. I'm just see if there's anything on there. There's so many charts you can get on ECMWF. It's just like, where do you start?
I know.
What's that? Ensemble trajectories. I've got the EFI Cape.
I might have the skew T's here.
Yeah, nothing interesting on the skew T.
I've got to West Midlands.
Yeah, there isn't enough divergence.
I've got the 6 kilometre wind shear and MU Cape. You want that?
Yeah, there's not much interest in that skew.
No, I'm just quickly looking through the skew, and there isn't an awful lot. There's different. I mean, it's sort of 850 again. That's where the divergence is. There isn't enough surface divergence.
Right, if I go back, I'm just going back onto Thingamajig now. Share this tab. There we go. Right, just coming back in now. Wait while it loads up. So that's Wednesday. Right, let's go back. There we go. So that's at 6 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock on Tuesday. Now let's zoom it in so you can see. There we go.
If there is any tornadic activity, it's going to be Scotland, the Lowlands. Looking at the skews, East Lothian, Renfrewshire and Aberdeenshire, the skews are showing quite a nice spread at midnight.
Yeah, you can see that actually coming through there at midnight on Tuesday through the central belt into the southern uplands, across Northern Ireland into the west of the Republic as well. There's a really tight gradient there. Just pull it forward. That goes into the sea anyway. But you can see that trying to rebuild again as it comes south. And then
I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a Toro warning out for that.
Yeah, that'll be out probably tomorrow, I would imagine.
Maybe Tuesday morning. Yeah.
Have a quick look on their website. See if
it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't put a potential out there, a low risk out there for the Lowlands.
Yeah, No discussions or watches have been issued yet. Might have a look on the forum when I come off and see what it's saying. But yeah, there's not much happening on the skew.
They don't tend to put much out until like 12 hours, 24 hours at the most. But if you look on the skew for midnight 7th, so Tuesday into Wednesday, Aberdeenshire, Renfrewshire, East Lothian, there is a nice spread on the skew. Not quite as much surface spread as I'd want, but there is mixing on the boundary. So there is the potential there, especially mid-levels.
Yeah, there you go. Look, so 700.
That's it, yeah.
So you got really big spread there, and then it tightens back up, and then obviously it spreads out when it gets towards the top.
Ideally, if you look at the coloured tags on the right hand side, which is the wind direction, you'd want, ideally for tornadoes, you want the bottom 3 or 4 facing the opposite direction to the next 3 or 4.
But they're going round, aren't they?
But there is potential for funnels, if not tornadoes. So it wouldn't surprise me if there wasn't an advisory put out, a watch put out.
The East Lothian. So that last one was Renfrewshire. This is East Lothian.
So that's a bit more conducive.
Yeah, quite a big.
If you look at East Lothian, midnight 7th.
Go back. So that's Tuesday. There we go.
That's it. You see the bottom? It swings round, and that's what gives you the shear. If you get any convective activity in the clouds, it's the shear at the surface level that brings the spin in. If you think of the mixing, it starts as a horizontal column, and you need the surface shear to get that horizontal column vertical, which is what a tornado is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Can you scroll up a little bit on your screen, please, so I can have a look at the hodograph at the top?
Yep.
The hodograph isn't great, but there is a bit of a curly hue on it.
Yeah, it's showing a bit of a pull. Around about 15 to 30 knots. Down here, you got the Cape and LI there. So you got some lifty, but no Cape indicated at the surface or 1,000 millibars either. That's your millibar. That's your pressure though. So
there's potential there.
There is potential. There is potential, guys. Let me quickly go back to the UKV because that was showing it as it went through. There we go. Right. So I'm just going to quickly line this up. Share this tab. So we're saying around about this time. There we go. So this line here will be what we're looking at. So possibly across the west of the Republic of Ireland towards the north of Northern Ireland, up into, like I said, Renfrewshire, into the central belt as well. But this is at midnight, so there's going to be no surface heating or anything like that. It's just going to be purely down to what's going on to the north and to the south. I'm going to drag that forward a couple of hours so they can see it tightening up and reforming again as it moves south into, I'd say, just coming into the borders of England and Scotland up here anyway. Possibly Ayrshire, somewhere like that. And that moves through. That's really tight at 5 o'clock in the morning. Wouldn't be surprised if you see something out towards the west, in through the Tyne Gap, in towards Carlisle, through that thing. You've got the two air masses meeting in the middle. Let's have a look. So that's at breakfast on Tuesday. So you've got that going through the lakes, possibly towards Lancaster, and over towards Middlesbrough, Hartlepool, Durham, maybe. That'd be as it goes through anyway. So I'll be around about Durham there at 7. And just move it forward. Gordon might see some funny stuff here. If he's watching, I would send him a picture of that.
I don't think he is. I did send him a message and
yeah,
I had no reply. So
no, it's okay. But yeah, that could get interesting as it goes through Blackpool at 10, 11, 12 o'clock on Tuesday. Might see a spout out to sea somewhere, I would imagine. Would you, Liz? Would you say so?
Sea's getting cooler this time of year. It's just started to cool down now, but especially at early hours, it's
Is it 10 in the morning?
Never say never, but
it's a very tight.
I wouldn't put money on that one.
No. So here we are, 12 o'clock, going through Greater Manchester. Showing up some quite heavy rain there. That line crossed North Wales into the Republic, and then out towards Humberside, North Yorkshire. It goes through. There we go. Tightens back up as it crosses over the Humber. Possibly as it enters the Midlands as well there at around about 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock itself. There we go. So it'd be interesting to see what the temperatures will be. So look at that. Ooh. That's the maximum temperatures on Tuesday. So ahead of it, 12, 13 degrees. Behind it, 1 to 3, possibly 4 or 5, maybe 6. So it's really...
Well, that 4, 5, 6 is on the score line.
Yeah. It's right on
so that's the gradient. Yeah.
So ahead of it, 12, 13 degrees. Behind it, you're looking at 3, 4 degrees. So there's a good 8, 10 degree difference between that squall line as it passes through. You'll notice. Like I say, you'll probably hear it coming through because it's going to be like one of them ones, I think. Where was I? Precipitant cloud. When it shows it, there we go. And then, as you can see there, oh, hello. What do we have here? Something might, maybe.
Yeah, might get something over the lakes, like Barla and like a spin up on the lakes, because those will be warmer because they're sheltered in the valleys. In the valleys.
In the valleys. Somewhere like that, just to the lee of the Snowdonia Mountains on the other side. But that really, really tightens up, as you can see.
That does, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. Like for you guys, as it comes through, that's going to be noticeable. It's going to be heavy rain, strong winds. Let's have a look at the wind gusts. There you go, look. 40, 50 mile an hour gusts. As it goes through. I mean, ahead of
that's just the trough,
30,
isn't it?
Mile an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just as it's gone through. So, yeah, that's as it goes through the Midlands, it kind of tightens up again. Possibly 50, 60 mile an hour over the hills. Yeah, you can see that wind gusts. Then it just all dies off in Wednesday morning. So yeah, that's us gone over that. So there is a possibility.
Yeah, just keep your eye out for a Taro advisory.
Mm-hmm.
I've just found the charts from ECMWF. I'll just flick that over just for a moment.
Yeah,
It's the vorticity at various pressure levels. So if that'll help see it a lot better or not. I've zoomed into Northwest Europe. So this is coming into Tuesday now. My guess is if you got the dark blues and the dark reds together, you got more of a chance of a spin up. I'm not too sure because I've never seen these charts before. So
what height's that at? 0850.
Yeah,
that's fairly high up.
Yeah,
it's at 1500.
Do you want to bring it right down? What do you want me to bring it down? 253 or 5?
850 is the lowest you can go.
Take it down to 3.
Or mid-level. So I'll look at the mid-level.
So that's 300. That's 300. Is that why you wanted it?
Yeah.
And so there is some in there in the mid-level.
Yes. Which is what we saw in the hydrographs. Whether it will be enough to cause spin-ups.
Yeah, that little bit there, just south of the Midlands.
So it's this area here going across the RSC, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So let's bring that down to 250, see what that's showing.
See if it's even higher. Could be getting pulled down by the jet. So the jet could...
I think it's just going to be a temperature gradient and any mixing in the boundaries. It's the wrong time of year to get vorticity, like big vorticity from the ground all the way up. There isn't much convection around. It'll be a brief spin up. Like I said, there is potential for funnels. Whether there's enough surface shear, I don't know. And coming along on that front line, the main winds are going to be all the same throughout the levels as that line goes through.
Yeah.
So any of the spin-ups will be ahead of the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where that stronger wind is pushing up against that cold air. I was going to say, bring it down.
It just depends on how much lift the warmth gives. Because it's the wrong time of year. If we were talking July, August, I'd be getting really excited and working out where I was going to sit and watch it. But this time of year, it's just going to be cold and wet and potentially snowy and potentially icy and hail and wet. Yeah. And you probably won't be able to see anything because visibility is going to be really low because of the precip. But
yeah, you're going to know
it's just the wrong time of year. Oh, especially you'll definitely know about it.
I was going to say, if you're anywhere below Yorkshire, into Lancashire, possibly into the Midlands, you'll know about it.
You'll hear it. You'll hear it. Whether you'll see it, I don't know. But
yeah, there's going to be precip ahead of it. So let's look at 700. So yeah, 700 HPS. That's around about 3,000 meters, something like that. So you can see the boundary. You can also see the behind, but it's very tight as it goes through. Yeah, we're not excited, but
like I say, June, July, August, I'd be excited. But this time of year, it's going to be squally. It's going to be rough. You might get funnels, high-level funnels, but whether you'll see them or not is another matter.
Yeah, it could be like when was it Kieran that went through? He went through the what they call it, through the Channel Islands, wasn't it? What was
Yes.
the one recently where it went through Manchester?
The one that I was. Oh, Isha.
Isha, that's the one.
Yeah, hit the Isle of Man.
Yeah, no, it was before that.
I'll say some of these charts are good for the summer here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are actually. Yeah, go on, let's have a look at the long term. See what the charts are showing.
Oh, I was going to say, regarding the summer ones, you've got the Cape and your CIM, which is your cap, isn't it, if not mistaken?
Yeah.
Cap, yeah. That's the level where the tops of the clouds have got to break through.
And what's that one there? These charts indicate this is
troposphere. Tropospheric. Oh, don't get me
started. The tropopause is the boundary between the... Yeah.
Yeah, it's around about 10,000 meters up, something like that. I'm going back to my radio roots here and trying to remember because it's tropospheric this and ionospheric that.
Yeah, the tropopause is the boundary, the cap. The tropopause is the cap.
That'd be the F layer, if I remember rightly. If Paul's watching, or any of my radio buddies, put it in the comments. And remember, disconnect your antennas.
Shall we start taking a look at what the ECM's showing for the next couple of weeks or so?
Yeah, go for it.
We're still looking at this week.
Go for it, mate.
Yeah. So I think there's about a 5 seconds, about up to nearly 5 second sound delay between us here at the minute.
No, that's fine. You go for it, mate. Go.
Yeah. So what we know, 5th, that's from tomorrow through to Monday the 12th. And obviously that's showing out of low pressure right across what we've been talking about, really. From the Atlantic through up into Eastern Europe. So that's, well, I would say it's a bit of a mess, really. Virtually it's sensed right across the UK. Times we'll be tucking into the milder air and also the colder air as well. And as we head into the second week, last week it was showing high pressure set towards our west. So let's see if that's still there. And that's got more centred towards northwest, just over towards northwest of Scotland. So that'll bring in like a northeasterly there. So it should bring it much cooler. Well, yeah, definitely cold air coming through there, wouldn't it, in that scenario? Has my signal gone?
I'm still here, mate.
So everything's just gone quiet all of a sudden. It's like,
No, I'm just writing something. I was just doing some research. Yeah, so that's 19th to the 12th to the 19th.
19 to 26 has virtually got that high pressure still sat towards the north of the UK. We're still in that east to northeasterly flow, so that's keeping everything quite cold, actually. Heading towards the last 4 week of February.
That's what we were wondering, whether it was going to bring us the snow.
So and not much change through from the 26th to 4th of March, really. That's more low pressure coming into that cold air, which could maybe the transition back to milder air there.
I'll say it's showing stronger than average lower heights to the west. Yeah. So that indicates to me that it's making a push.
That's when the jet stream gets organised again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back to the flat westerlies. Even going beyond that, actually, it's kind of still in the same similar place, really.
Yeah.
We're right in the battleground still, though, looking at the high over Greenland and Iceland.
Right on the gradient as well.
That high actually sits there. The high sits there for about 3 or 4 weeks. Perhaps just gets pushed further towards Iceland and Greenland, but it just sits there.
That's saying to me.
And there's less signal there going into mid-March.
I was going to say that's saying to me that high pressure is now moving back into the poles, and that could kill off PV.
Can I go to the North Pole there? Let's Arctic. Yeah, let's have a look at the Arctic then. You mentioned that. So we're now looking down at the Arctic. So, that's good. It actually shows you where the North Pole is.
It's where all the lines meet.
Yes. I thought it was a terrace chocolate orange. So yeah, that's definitely got high sensors right across the North Pole, hasn't it? For the 12th to the 19th there.
Yeah, look at the pole split rejoins.
Yeah, that's indicating a bit of warming, possibly.
Who's eating?
Does that mean we're going to get? Does that mean we're going to get a cold April?
The only one way to find out. It was indicating, because I was showing you during the week at the monthly mean average, and that was showing a cooler March and April.
It's a long way out, though.
Let's have a look at.
Yeah. Have a look at the monthly mean.
Let's have a look at the we're using the same ones. Let's have a look at the temperature there. So that's showing clearly that split across the UK between the cold air and the milder air towards the south.
There's a really steep gradient there, isn't there? Look over Europe. You see why it's been stormy over Europe?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this gradient just here.
Mike Arthur said, fingers crossed for a warm late May.
So then we're next week, 12th of February to the 19th, we're actually looking at colder than average. So it looks like we could be picking up some of this northeasterly flow, actually.
Siberia looks warm as well.
Yeah. And if we had the beastly easterly, it won't be all that cold, will it?
No.
What's that? Let's look at Siberia. There is about, 6 to 10 degrees above average. Then 19th to the 26th was perhaps getting close to back to average again. Still a bit on the cold side, but not as cold. Well, then again, the signal could be getting a lot weaker.
Yeah, that's a very long way out now. We're looking at
spring. Start of storm season.
Now we need nice pink over us if we want a nice strong storm season start.
So should we have a look at the monthlies?
So have a look at the precipitation. See, with that cold air, we're going to get any precipitation in that flow. So I think the green is precipitation. Yes.
I can't read it on the screen this small, even with my glasses on.
Do you want it in Braille?
I need my laptop back and running.
So that's got slightly drier than average for the 12th to the 19th of February. And, there's a feature there just off the Norfolk coast, actually. So that could bring in maybe snow showers or wintry showers there for eastern parts.
Yeah, northerlies tend to be dry. North and east tends to be dry. We need the boundary. We need the crossover between the warm and the wet and the cold and the dry. That's what gives us the snow.
Yeah. I'm just noticing as we're heading towards the first week of March, you've got that green again affecting eastern areas. In your opinion, Liz, do you see it almost like the North Sea is like having America, like the lake effect when we get easterlies? It's almost like the North Sea is like you can get like almost like a lake effect snow, but obviously with our just using the North Sea instead.
Yeah, it's not as intense as lake effect snow. It's more that you do get the little showers that crop up, but that tends to be pushing into March and April when the North Sea's still cold and the land mass has started to warm up. So you get the warm air coming off the continent, going across the cold North Sea, hitting Britain that hasn't had a chance to warm up because we're such a small landmass. So you do get the small snow showers, especially if we're in a northerly flow.
Yes.
So we usually get streamers coming in.
I think a lot of it depends on how well organised the jet stream gets again, because at the moment it just looks like a mess for the next 6 weeks, and there's bits of jet stream cut off all over the place. So to be honest, I think anything that far out, we're looking at with a huge dose of salt, not even a pinch, to be honest.
One says enough to cause like heart trouble. Potassium overdose. Oh, sorry, it's sodium.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it gives us a heart attack trying to give the forecasts.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Sometimes you see this on the Met Office.
Yeah, they did that.
This is your,
what they've
got the warm again.
The weather regime. So blue is usually westerlies.
Negative and
or positive.
So that again, sorry.
Pressure.
I was going to say the colours are different regimes, aren't they? So your blues NAO positive, which is westerly. Red is NAO negative, which is easterly.
No, that green is your NAO.
Is that
the red is the block?
Yeah, the red is the northerlies.
Yeah.
And the purple is the southerlies.
Your green is your... I'll just put the key on.
It's not coming on.
No, I think it's on the top of the screen, actually.
Yeah,
ATR, that rings a bell to me.
Atlantic.
Atlantic.
So that's westerlies.
ATR.
I can't read it.
It's a bit too small, isn't it?
It's a bit small. Sorry, guys. I have to get the old.
Even smaller on a phone.
Hello. All the zonals. So yeah, the just having a look at the
zonals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's anybody's guess. Is anybody's guess.
I would say that the polar vortex is dying off for the season. My opinion. With that high pressure,
bleeding egg.
I know.
Yeah, that's stick a pin in it.
That's throwing 3 darts in there, hoping for 180. Is there anything more we can do? Are we?
I think it's a suck it and see situation. It's going to be Tuesday into Wednesday. There's that score line coming through. Friday, Saturday, there's another potential for snow because there's a big mix of warm, wet, and cold northerlies coming down. So again, there's potential for snow, but who knows where at this point in time.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this one. This is the tropics. Song rain, hello. A little bit of a La Nina going on. This is for February, March, and April.
Warm.
Warmer than
Warm
average.
blob.
Much of the Arctic still quite warm. Our seas is still warm, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So March, April, May. We're definitely seeing cooler coming into the eastern side of the Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it?
Actually, 1.2 there, and that cooler pools actually starts to move into areas 3 and 4 of the Pacific.
That's what's starting to degrade that's what's degrading the jet stream, because you've got a big temperature gradient across the tropics.
So you've got really warmer conditions to the south during the summer as well. To our south anyway. Starts to really warm up. Yeah.
Looking at the Med's looking quite warm as well. So
I'll have to see what the charts say tomorrow when they come out.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a day by day.
As the forecast started 1st of the 1st, so I haven't gone nowhere. But yeah, some of the charts for ECM come out tomorrow, and they'll be interesting to see, especially with this kind of crossover that we've got coming this week, where they'll go. Obviously, that's going to throw a big spanner in the works compared to last week when it was saying there was going to, I mean, the Met Office said in the deep dive and in the 10-day trend that there was a lot of uncertainty in the week, but it's still kind of uncertain, but up to 3 days, I'd say we're fairly certain. It's just when that low comes in from the south, he's going to throw.
It was saying, I think, for middle of February was more, the forecasting was more reliable than it was for the week beforehand. Normally it's the other way around. As time goes on, forecasting gets more undecided. That's not the right word I'm looking for. But,
indecisive. It gets a bit scattered, doesn't it? Yeah.
But it's just complete opposite. It's like this week was always showing a really messy signal, really, and it still is.
Yeah, and we're only 3 days out till that low comes in, apparently. Is where that low comes in, how much cold air gets dragged into it. So many factors. And also how much that squall line moves through as well, how quick that moves through. Yeah, we're juggling with fresh air here at the moment. We can only go by what's given to us, really.
I think it's still going to be uncertain, even once we get to Wednesday. It's still going to be uncertain what the weekend's going to be like. Just looking at the probabilities and the ensemble spread, I don't think it's going to be nailed down. It's going to be a day by day. Keep an eye on the forecasts, I think.
Yeah,
definitely. I think it's one of these weeks that we'll maybe keep an eye on it. Then we may do a midweek show. We'll see. We'll keep a very close eye on.
Definitely. See how that squall goes through on Tuesday.
If not, definitely one of us will put a post up there to keep everyone informed what's going on.
Yeah, there is potential for a big snow event Friday, Saturday, Sunday, down to low levels, down as far south as the Staffordshire Moorlands, over the Peak District, down over Nottingham, potentially the Midlands, depending on where the Scandi block sits. I hope
so. I'm off Friday, Saturday, possibly Sunday.
Get the sledge out just in case, and that will mean we don't get snow.
I'll just get a frying pan and slide down the hill on it.
Is that it? I think I'll call that a night.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'll
so.
go to bed and go to work in the morning.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Oh.
William, thanks for joining us, everyone. Putting up with us for the last
Yeah,
hour
and
and a half.
We're only 26 days until start of storm season 24.
He won't let it go.
Well, I might be in Iceland in a couple of days, depending on what happens over in Svartsengi.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'll be over in Farm Foods.
And I'll be over. I might even go to Farm Foods myself. Might even go be extravagant and go to Iceland. If I'm really pushing the boat out, home bargains.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good shot. That is home bargains.
That's pushing the boat out there. But if the snow does happen during the week, I might, if the weather conditions allow it, go out and have a nosy with a drone and see what's going on up there and get some good pictures and stuff like that. And try and put them on the group. Right, you.
Yeah. It's definitely a week of more or less snow casting, isn't it? Or very last minute. I think warnings will come up quite within 24 hours of the event happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It might be worth keeping an eye on Tuesday just in case Toro do put anything out for that score line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. So, yeah, we'll keep you updated, everyone.
Yeah, and also
I'll
keep an eye on the...
Met.
No. The European one.
ECM. Oh, you're on about Estefax.
Estefax.
That's the one, yeah. I just couldn't think of the bloody name.
I had to think of it hard there as well. But yeah, definitely won't keep an eye on Estefax.
Cool.
Yeah. Right, I think we'll call that a night, everyone.
Yeah,
having you
definitely.
on for the last hour and 36 minutes now. And we'll, like Mike says, if we see a chance that we could come on Tuesday, we'll come on Tuesday, especially if that squall line gets a bit messy, shall we say, and we have a bit more nailed on what's going to happen for the weekend, and we'll bring that. If not, we'll see you next Sunday.
Yes, indeed. Well, obviously, we'll keep you all informed.
Yeah, I was going to say that's if Liz isn't in Grindavik or Reykjavik or somewhere like that.
I won't be in Grindavik because it's shut.
She's just going there to cook a breakfast on the floor.
Yeah, go to the Blue Lagoon, whatever it's called.
Yes, I might be in Reykjavik. But if I do and there is action, I'll try and go live on the page just for something a bit different.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
No
problem at all.
Yeah. I think we'll call that a night, Michael.
Yeah. So it's good night from me. It's good night from. I can't see because I've got my what's name on my background on. Can't see anything.
Good night from them.
Yeah, it's good night from the other people here.
Yeah. Good night from me, night from them as well.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.